Do you know what this is? This is called an ocarina. If you look, there are a variety of cultures around the world that use something similar to this as a musical instrument. This ocarina specifically, though, has a story that goes along with it. When my family went to a summer camp at Lake Okoboji a few years ago, there was a gentleman there by the name of Q. He was visiting the United States from Taiwan. And during the talent show portion of that family camp, he pulled out an ocarina, played Amazing Grace, and afterwards he said, "An ocarina is an instrument for God." And I thought, well, you played a hymn, that makes sense. But he went on to say, here's why an ocarina is an instrument from God. It's made of clay. Traditionally, ocarinas are made from clay. So they are fragile, they will break. Breath gives it life, and the holes are what make the tune. So it's made of clay, breath gives it its life, gives it life, and the holes play the tune. An instrument for God. And it was a very fitting example, because if you think about it, you and I, we're made of clay. We're breakable. We hear in the creation story that humanity, with the creation of Adam, was made from clay, the dirt of the ground. And we are reminded of our own mortality. From dust you are, to dust you shall return. And I think the events of the past few months have shown us that we are breakable. Humanity is breakable and fragile. And doesn't take much. If you have a little ocarina that's made of clay and you drop it, it will break. Breath gives it life. Again, if you go back to the creation story, it's the breath of God breathed into Adam that gives him physical life. But also for us, it's the breath of God, God's Spirit, that gives us spiritual life. Made of clay, breath gives it life, and the holes play the tune. The holes make the tune. What are the holes that are in your life? Where does it feel like you've been punched or punctured, drilled? Is it a past relationship that's left you somewhat scarred? Is it a failure? Could have been last week. It could have been decades ago. But you still carry that with you. Is it a word that was spoken to you in middle school that is still part of your schema, of your identity, and what you think you're worth, and who you think you are? Is it a rejection? What are the holes in your life? Through those holes, God plays the tune of the gospel, the story of His amazing grace. His grace that is enough for you. Those holes that make you who you are. That God gently holds, just like I did, my fingers over other holes, releasing air to make the sweet tune of the gospel. In 2 Corinthians chapter 12, we hear these words from the Apostle Paul. Starting with verse 9, Paul says these words, "But Jesus said to me, 'My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore I will boast all the more gladly about my weaknesses, so that Christ's power may rest on me. That is why for Christ's sake I delight in weaknesses, in insults, in hardships, in persecutions, in difficulties. For when I am weak, then I am strong.'" Made of clay, breath gives it life, and the holes make the tune. What are the holes in your life through which God plays the sweet tune of the gospel? And maybe who is it in your life that needs that sweet tune of the gospel that will come through you because it's your holes? You are the instrument for God to play that sweet song to them. We'll see you next time.